Hey Sagittarius, this is a really big month for you. December is your birthday month, so happy solar return for those of you who have that happening this month. I do hope that this is a special one for you. It definitely looks like it is shaping up to be a very transformative time for you and the way that you understand yourself, and it's like you're finally emerging on this beautiful level. So I'm really excited to see what we have in store for you. Before we get too far into this video, my name is Michael. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, I want to welcome all of you back who are joining me again. I know it's been quite some time since I have been on YouTube and uploaded one of these videos. I'm super excited to see what we have in store for you. But before we dive in, I do just want to let you all know that I'm running my holiday sale. All of my services are currently 25% off on my website until December 21st. So if you are looking for a reading or Reiki session with me, now is a great time to book. I think that the new year is a great time to see what we have in store for us for the year ahead. So if you want to get a reading, now is the perfect time. All of my links are in the description box down below, as well as links for the astrology blog that accompanies this video. You can also find me on all of my other social media accounts and follow me there too. I do appreciate that. And let's see what we have in store for you for December. As I'm sure many of you are aware, we are starting off December with an eclipse in your sign. So that is happening in your first house. This is a total solar eclipse, which is a new moon that is extra powerful. And it kind of feels like it's actually wrapping up a lot of the themes that you've been going through over the past couple of years. It's been pretty challenging for you the past year and 8 months, or 6 months, I should say, year and a half. That's because we've had the nodes in your sign, and those are finally shifting into Taurus and to Scorpio, which is finally taking a weight off of you and giving you a chance to sort of breathe. Really feels like, honestly, kind of a nice shift, actually. It's kind of wrapping up a cycle. It's also the only total solar eclipse of this year, so that's especially interesting because it really is like just this final chapter, and now you're going to be moving forward in a much different direction. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you do feel like you're going to be making some big moves in your life over the next 6 months. That's how long these eclipses really affect us, and it's really kind of the culmination of everything that you've been going through, again, for the past year and a half. It's going to kind of make a lot more sense to you 6 months from now why you had to go through the struggles you had to go through, especially if you are a Sagittarius rising. I know that as a Sag moon, however, I really felt the eclipse last May, I want to say. It was actually right on my moon sign, the same exact degree. And this eclipse is 12 degrees in Sagittarius. So if you have any planets there, really expect some transformations to happen there for you as well. But yeah, I really felt this big shift happen for me, and honestly, it just completely leveled me for quite some time, and it only feels like just now I'm getting back up on my feet and kind of feeling a spark that I frankly was lacking for quite some time, and that I've taken some time away from YouTube. And it just feels like now is the time to come back. So maybe for you, Sagittarius, you're feeling very similar. There's this return of something, and I almost get this kind of phoenix-like energy from you. And that's kind of how I think of Sagittarius anyways. It's like after the death and transformation of Scorpio season, we go into the rebirth of Sagittarius season. We find the light in a time of darkness, and we remember that. So these are really important themes for you. We do also have, quite significant to you, Jupiter entering into Pisces at the end of the month. That's really important for you to be aware of because Jupiter represents your chart ruler or your ruling planet, depending on whether or not you are a Sag rising or sun or moon. Jupiter still has a lot of influence over you. And with it moving into Pisces, this is actually bringing a lot of really beautiful things to your home, to the core of who you are, and really helping you figure out what really matters to you deep down, and connecting and healing some very deep part of you. And that's also going to be happening with Neptune going direct again at the beginning of this month. There's a lot that is really helping support you through this transition, and I know it's been rocky for a lot of you, so hang on, hang with me here. I am curious to see what cards we have for you. I've already shuffled and pulled. I just have to flip them over now. The first two cards we have in the past, we have the Emperor and Justice. This is actually pretty interesting because we have the Aries and the Libra axis. So that might be something to pay attention to in your chart. Just kind of thinking of that, whatever area of that chart, or whatever these two signs rule over in your chart, are going to be really, really important to you. For you specifically, Sagittarius, we're talking about the 5th and 11th house. So that's house of pleasure, of hobbies, of passion, and also the house of friendships, social networks. There might be something there that's happening for you that's been shifting, or you might have gone through changes with your friends. But how I'm actually interpreting this, I feel like some of you might have been going through some sort of legal struggle or some sort of bureaucratic struggle for quite some time. I actually wouldn't be surprised if some of you have been going through a divorce or separation of that kind, because we do have Venus going retrograde this month as well. We are in that pre-shadow period, but we have a full moon in Gemini that is going to be happening, I think, on the 18th. I just checked. So the 18th of December, we have a full moon in Gemini. That's going to be bringing some changes for you, some potentially endings or closure in relationships or the way that you approach relationships. And that doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could really be any kind of partnership. But yeah, I feel like there's been some sort of either debate or bureaucracy or conversation or mediation that's been going on, and it feels like there's been one person who's been really, really stubborn. I don't actually feel like that's you, Sagittarius. It feels like there's someone else you've been dealing with, and you've been trying to strike a balance with that person, with justice. And the lesson you've been getting out of that, what's come out of that situation, is the Two of Swords. It's like I'm saying, there's this energy of stalemate. You feel like you've been in a stalemate for some time. And if there isn't a literal situation in your life where that's been manifesting, this could very well just be happening inside of you. Maybe there's two very different parts of you. This part of you that just wants to do something, and the part of you that wants to be fair about it. Or be measured in approaching something. But yeah, I feel like there is this thing that's been blocked for quite some time. It's been kind of heavy. Interestingly, noticing the two eclipses in both of these cards. We have two solar eclipses in the Emperor and in the Two of Swords. I feel like this combination of cards comes out a lot around the eclipse season. I'm just kind of thinking back on that. But yeah, there's been stalemate. And I feel like you've really had to persevere. I'm kind of getting the sense, Sagittarius, you've actually been the patient one, which is interesting. And I think it's going to pay off for you with the Ace of Pentacles kind of in the present or in the immediate future. There is a new beginning here. Something is finally beginning to root or take hold in your life. And it feels like it's giving you some new stability. Some of you might have also been waiting on an opportunity. I could potentially see that as well. And it feels like something is finally shifting for you there. And, you know, we are coming into, in the second half of this month, Capricorn, which is your second house. There could be some money. There could be some stability that you are gaining this month that feels like it's honestly well-deserved. It feels like it's taken a very long time. But after all this time, it feels so worth it. I feel really strongly about that. Yeah, the Ace of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, or Daughter of Pentacles in this specific energy. That's literally what I was just describing. It's like, it's taken some time for this clarity or for this recognition or for this thing to finally happen, for something to finally be finalized. And I think someone could kind of look at this situation, and maybe there's part of you that sort of looks at this situation and be like, I had to go through all of this just to get this little amount of progress or recognition. But I don't see it that way, Sagittarius. I feel like you're finally getting some stability. What else is happening for you this month? We're in Capricorn season. What's happening for you? What is happening? I feel like there is something in your routine that is changing. We have Uranus in Taurus, and that's kind of the routine, your daily work, what you're doing each and every day, your habits, your routines. And I feel like there's finally something that's changing there. You've had to put a lot of work and concentration into that area. And we do have Saturn forming its third and final square with Uranus in Taurus on December 26th. So there might be a little more perseverance, there might be a little push, but honestly, because this is the final one, there's a lot of cycles that are closing out. It's almost like there's a lot of things that are coming into culmination for you this month. And I feel pretty good about it, actually. Interesting. And you have the High Priestess in the future. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. The reason that makes sense to me is because we have the nodes moving out of your sign and out of Gemini into the sign of Scorpio and into the sign of Taurus. So again, there really is this focus on stability, on routines, having good habits, really appropriate for the New Year's. There's actually quite a bit of astrology that's making this New Year's especially potent for resolution, so might be a good idea to set those. But I feel like there's now this spiritual shift that's happening for you. And that's with the South Node going into your 12th house. And it's almost like you're changing your life to become more intuitive, if that makes any sense. I think when a lot of people work on intuition or they try to become more connected to their spirit or soul, they try doing it from a place of trying to add that like a tool into their life. And the truth is, the best way to really connect with your intuition, with your higher self, or however it is that you refer to the soul or spirituality, it's like you have to flow with it. And I think you're finally making some changes. I feel like some of you are actually starting a meditation or divination practice or restarting that at the end of this month, and it feels really powerful. But I just feel like I feel very content looking at this High Priestess. It's like, yes, I knew that things were going to go this way eventually. I knew I was eventually going to get my way. And now you're kind of looking into the future or dreaming into the future of what is coming for you next. And I feel like there's a lot of new opportunities. And it feels like opportunities that are new for you specifically. So this isn't necessarily you just like getting a promotion. It could be for some of you, but it almost feels like you're getting a job in something that you're actually passionate about, or you're learning new skills that you actually really love or light you up. That feels pretty significant. You could be hearing news of a promotion for some of you. That could be a thing that happens, but this really feels more like you're being accepted into a program or being accepted into a new job or into a new field. And it feels more spiritually aligned with you. And there is kind of this air of mystery, but I almost feel like you're really drinking this in. It's not freaking you out. If anything, it's giving you this chance to really kind of create. You know, it's very mutable. The energy for you is very, very mutable right now. It's very changeable. And I think you feel that and know that. We do have the Lizard and Cosmic Egg kind of coming out as energies for you here. And the Cosmic Egg actually represents the crown chakra specifically. So there really is this big spiritual shift that's happening. And it's almost like a spiral is coming to a completion. The Cosmic Egg reminds me a lot of the world. But it's like things happen in spirals. And it's like you're finally on this trajectory where you know that things are going to change in ways that you can't even perceive for the better. That's really, really beautiful to me. And it's not to say that things are just going to suddenly get better in your life. Everything's going to go away. All your problems are going to vanish. But you have this sense of hope. You have something that's very centered and very deep here, Sagittarius. And this energy is kind of pervasive throughout the collective, actually, this month. There's just kind of this hope and faith that is being renewed. But I really feel like there's a shedding of a skin here with Lizard. And Lizard also has this magical energy as well. And Lizard is about energetic conservation. You know, kind of playing your long game is what I want to tell you. Don't squander your energy in things that don't feel worth your time, especially in sort of this darker time we are in, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. Because when I think of Lizard, I think of this animal basking out in the sun. and really deriving its energy from this pure ball of life force energy, and needing to use that energy wisely. Lizard is about energy management to me. And so there is this new shift that's happening, and I think you are learning how to use your energy more wisely, and I think you are shedding things, and you're being embraced by all of this yummy, beautiful, new potential. Feels really, really good to me, actually. There really isn't anything that's actually concerning me right now. I feel like things are kind of resolving in your life, and you're kind of wrapping it up and putting a bow on it, is what it feels like for December. And maybe that kind of goes out into 2022 as well for some of you. But I feel like whatever is happening, things are finally shifting. You're seeing it, or you're feeling it. And there's a big spiritual shift that's happening for you as well that feels really profound and beautiful to me. And it's like you're kind of just embracing that you're always going to change. You're always going to transform. Life is always going to shift. And instead of trying to resist that, you're moving in flow with that. And because of that, you're opening up your magic in a very, very powerful way. So I hope that this was helpful. These are all the messages I have for you, Sagittarius. I'm wishing you all a very happy birthday. Take care. I do hope that this video was helpful and resonant for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if it was. Let me know in the comment section down below what in particular resonated with you or what stood out to you. I'd love to hear it. I always think those synchronicities are super interesting. I know that this time of year is really challenging for many of you, and my heart goes out to anyone who is struggling or feeling lonely during this time of year. I'm wishing you a very happy, safe, and healthy December. All of my links, again, are available in the description box down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.